Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 395.
395.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Van Travel. Head to the MEI and Mouse Van Travel site for a quote. It's almost the 50th anniversary. I mean, we're looking at, less than 6 months at this point. Plus, Remy's Ratatouille Adventure will be opening.
Lots of things to look forward to.
And, the Disney Cruise Line will eventually be back in business. So definitely check them out.
So we're starting our show here with a very relaxing morning walk to the Magic Kingdom. This was on Easter Sunday. We're going to start off with Easter and then show a few other things, including Epcot. First, though, I did the facial recognition test at the Magic Kingdom, and I think you did as well.
Well, I had done it already, and I said, well, you should do it too because it's so fast.
Well, record it. So I thought I would show this. Now, in my case, I had to take my glasses off and my hat, which was no big deal. And this is in real time. You can see how fast it is. You just walk up, you stand on the correct spot, you look into the screen here and touch your magic band, and it looks at you, and then that's it.
That was so quick. I don't know what it would be like on the second time, when it's trying to figure out who you are. But at least that first time was just like almost as fast as anything else.
Right, and I have a email too, a survey which I have to look at. I haven't looked at it yet.
That's a quick survey. It's just like one page.
Oh, okay. Very good. So anyway, we're taking a look around at the Magic Kingdom. Chip and Dale, we're back up here by the Country Bear Jamboree.
And we have not seen them in quite some time. It seems like anytime we're in Frontierland, they're not out. And I thought they were on the river, actually.
They were across on Tom Sawyer's Island where Aunt Polly's used to be.
Okay, yeah, I actually didn't realize that. So maybe I was just looking in the wrong direction.
But I think there was some construction work going on at the time, so they're back up here. And I prefer them here. You can see them really well.
Well, especially if you're on the Liberty Bell. If you catch it just right, you can get the Enchanted Tiki Room in the background with Chip and Dale here. And it just makes for nice pictures, especially if you have, a good camera. Yes.
Yeah, they're always fun. Chip and Dale, so much fun to see. So, as you said, I'm very glad that they're back out.
And I did not see the Country Bears on this day.
I didn't either.
So, this is Easter Sunday. I just want to say first, not much was different on Easter Sunday. It was pretty much the same day as usual, but with a couple bunnies. And that was it.
And we had already seen the bunnies on Friday. But it was nice to be able to see them again. I just wanted to watch all the cavalcades just in case they added some flashes of Easter in there.
But they didn't.
But they didn't. But I thought maybe the band would play an Easter song, or you just never know, and you have to be there just in case.
Yeah, you
well,
have to
at least I do. You put yourself in the correct place in case something good happens.
Actually, a lot more has changed in the last couple days.
After Easter.
Yes, after Easter. While we're looking at all this, right now, Disney just started something where you can have your pictures taken without your mask and definitely with a photo pass. And I think in any situation, as long as you're distanced and, your distance.
And that's only outside, by the way.
And that's the other thing I was going to say, and outside.
And that started today. They actually pushed it up a day.
And stationary. I saw pictures of that. Also, Trader Sam, the Jungle Cruise is undergoing some changes, and I guess Trader Sam has been removed, and that has happened since Sunday.
See, if we were there, we could have taken a video of the empty rock, which Trader Sam used to be at.
And then Mulan also, I guess, was out today.
But now we are looking at Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny. Since we did our show last week, I had no idea that we would see them. I actually thought we would not be seeing Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny making an appearance.
And we saw them a lot.
We did, and it was great because I love them. I mean, they're so much fun. They're great characters. And this little meet and greet, not really meet and greet, it's more of a
character experience is what I would call it.
Sort of like at Epcot with
Joy.
The Joy, right.
Yeah, it was really fun, I think, for families. And I hope that when things get back to mostly total normal, I don't know if it will be ever 100% like it was, but if they would mix in these character experiences, because some guests want to meet them. I don't always want to need to meet the characters, but it's fun to kind of watch them playing, in this case.
Well, this was kind of almost like a little show, because you have Mr. Easter Bunny is hiding all the eggs, and Mrs. Easter Bunny is not allowed to look. So she's here and kind of in the corner entertaining the crowd. And then when he has them hidden, she goes out and tries to find all the eggs. Now, there was a big distraction, though, because one of the cavalcades was coming by, so Mr. Easter Bunny was waving to his friends, Mickey and Minnie and all those characters on the cavalcade.
You were quite, like, I'm off to the side.
You had left the park at this point.
I had... Oh, is this a different...
This was Easter Sunday.
Sorry. On Friday, I did watch most of it, and I did not realize there was a whole big story, but Jeff gets all the info, you know.
It was fantastic. It was so much fun. And
it is fun.
And there's music, so they were dancing. I mean, how awesome is it to see Mr. Easter Bunny dancing to the, the cavalcade music?
No, you know what? I really enjoy, actually, like when I watch the country bears, I like to take pictures of them or little bits of video of them as the cavalcade goes by, because
exactly.
That's
exactly what this is.
It's really interesting to see the characters and performers interact with each other, and from different areas.
Right.
I think so. I just think that's a lot of fun.
And Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny character fun didn't end at the Magic Kingdom. When I went back to the Polynesian, they were doing one of those rare meet and greets where they drive up on the
caravanning round the world. I missed it. I left a little bit early, walked on the Grand Floridian pathway back. You took the monorail.
I wanted to try the monorail because now they have different sectioning for people, and there was nobody there, so I knew I'd have my own car, which I did, so that was very interesting. But it was so cool to see Mr. and Mrs. Easter Bunny in the caravanning around the world. Normally it's Goofy and Pluto.
No, and by normally, that's all we've ever seen before, which is a surprise because it has Minnie on here and, all the other characters, Donald.
It was a really nice
we've never
surprise.
Seen them.
We ended up having a great Easter. Now we're going to move over, though, to Epcot. This is a different day. A little bit windy, but a beautiful day at the park.
Yeah, and we were here to spend a nice day at Epcot, right?
Because it was in the 60s, and that was really the reason, because the weather was so nice. We couldn't resist.
That was the
high.
high.
On Friday. It was Good Friday.
Right, the high was the 60s. I mean, when we arrived at the park, it was probably like 50.
So we're taking a look at some of the construction here in Future World.
So, of course, we lost the fountain here. And you can see the new fountain pylons through there as well. We lost a lot over here, both in both communicores. And so on the right-hand side, we're going to have the new Mouse Gear and a counter service location. I think we're going to see Ice Station Cool back.
Well, I would love Ice Station Cool to be back, but I suspect you meant Club Cool or something of that nature.
Something like that, yes.
It's just not the same going to Epcot and not having an ice cold Beverly.
I did not like Beverly, so I didn't drink it. So it's exactly the same for me.
Or a Mezzomix. Although I did have a frozen Mezzomix in Germany, in the Germany Pavilion over the holidays.
Right, but they don't have that right now, so just maybe sometime.
But anyway, we're just taking a closer look at some of this construction going on here. And this is actually taken up on the hill there by the Imagination Pavilion, one of our favorite places to relax. Usually not too busy, great place to just kind of have a drink and relax.
Yeah, it gets a little busier when they let out the show, the Pixar short show, I think.
And speaking of busy, this was right as the park opened, and the line here was about 2 hours for
test track.
I'm thinking World of Motion. I don't know what I'm going crazy.
And I've not noticed it be this far back before, so that was kind of a surprise. And then the Frozen line was very, very long as well.
But even though there were long lines, the park didn't feel busy at all to me.
And that's the one thing. Like right now, it's there's a lot of tourists in town, and I guess they want to ride rides. So people like us don't need to ride anything, not right now.
Not every visit. No.
So just to walk around, a lot of times is very nice, and very the pathways can be pretty clear a lot of the time.
And this reminds me, we still have to go and finish our Spike the Bee scavenger hunt.
Yes, and so. I stopped here and I'm like, I don't really think about this because I'm not sending letters from Walt Disney World ever.
I used to mail them from the Magic Kingdom when I'd come for a vacation.
And
I didn't live here.
And I'm just like, I found it interesting and I pass it, I'm sure, like all the time. But, that it's in World Showcase as opposed to like the front of the park or something. So anyway, if you want to mail a letter, you can mail it
And you brought up a good point. We should mail a letter to ourselves just to see what the
postmark.
The
it's probably like Buena Vista, but it would be interesting to see.
So I don't know why I had this idea, but we were walking through or past Morocco, and I thought, let's try having lunch at Spice Road Table. We hadn't done that in in years, and it has under new management now. So we figured we'd give it a try.
It's under Disney management, and I have been wanting to come here actually for several years, and we just hadn't. And prior they had made it a more of a restaurant where you could get full entrees, but now they call it a lounge menu, where you're getting small plates, which was perfect because we got to try quite a few items.
And that's kind of how it was when it originally opened. We sat outside, of course, and had a really nice table here in the corner.
And I see my purple mask is down a little bit further down my face than my other mask, which normally doesn't happen. So you caught it just in time.
Well, we were far away from anybody watching, so only to post it on the show, which I didn't notice. Why don't you set up? This was your tea, more sweet than you expected. The green tea.
I wasn't expecting any sweet, so it was the green mint tea. It has, I guess, sugar in it, which I was very surprised at. So I'm just letting people know. And then also you had the sangria. It's not the signature sangria that was here before. So I wanted to mention that.
So we started off by trying the sampler to get an idea of what we like.
And so one of them is lamb kefta. Then there was, I don't know how to say it, Tiropitaka. And I tried to figure it out online. And then that has phyllo and cheese in it. And then the spiced chicken. We got another spiced chicken.
Well, here is a full-size portion of the spiced chicken, which was great, by the way.
And it, even though it says spiced, it's not spicy. It's, it just has a lot of flavor.
Not hot spicy.
Right.
There were a lot of spices in it, but they were
but it's not
hot.
It's not what you would think of as spicy, like maybe like cinnamon and such in it. It's really good. It was just it's a very nice flavor.
And I have to say, I did enjoy the lamb kefta, and what the mystery pronunciation item, I enjoyed that too.
It's got a lot of letters, and I would totally mess it up.
And you had an alcoholic beverage as well. We just had a look at the glass there.
I totally forgot about that. That was very good. But next to it is this is a hummus fries, which are incredible. Of everything that we had. We have not had hummus fries before, and this is a holdover from prior.
I would go back just for this. We almost did the other day, just for get some hummus fries, a drink, and out.
Right, like a sangria or something, and hummus fries
so good.
Would be amazing. So I definitely recommend these. And I saw there was a guest near us, and when he tried his for the first time, you could see his mouth go, wow, because they're so good. And then we also got the naan spread, with it's got hummus and marinated olives in it.
Olives were great.
I probably would not get, I don't want to say I wouldn't get this again, but if I'm going to have the choice of like hummus fries or this, I would take the hummus fries 100% of the time. Correct.
This was really good, but I agree the hummus fries would be my choice over this.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of bread service type items across property. This is a decent one. Everything's been good. We had a dessert platter that included baklava. There's also, I think the other item, there's an almond cookie, and then one is like a honey cake, I think. It's like soaked.
That was great.
When this came out, it was like, but it was actually, everything was very good on this. I do think that the cookie, I read online that the cookie can change, so don't expect necessarily that, but I think the other two items are probably pretty much here most of the time.
And I would want that again. I would really, I don't have any regrets. I enjoyed everything we tried. It was a really, really nice lunch. And Tables in Wonderland still accepted.
Yeah. No regrets.
I don't.
That's your.
I wouldn't have done anything differently. Would you?
No, I mean, I wish that we hadn't waited so long to go there. It was really good, and I definitely recommend it if you're in. If you're in Epcot, it doesn't have to be for a full meal. You can just stop in there's no reservations taken now. You can just go for a small plate.
So we decided to take a walk around the Morocco Pavilion, and we noticed there was some work being done here. There was a section where the other restaurant was, the Marrakesh restaurant. Mm-hmm. That whole area is now closed, and they're doing some work beyond these walls here. But there was nothing open over there anyway, so it doesn't really impact the guests.
Right. And so, I mean, the shops aren't open here. The restaurant back here. Right. I mean, all you have right now, the only restaurant right now open in Morocco is Spice Road Table. I will say I think something's being removed is probably what's happening.
There's a very popular photo spot there that might be altered.
Yes, so we'll see what happens with it. And what I really love about this location, and it reminds me so much of Agrabah Cafe
At Disneyland Paris, yes, Adventureland.
This has been like an area for, and right now we're looking in what's normally a meet and greet in regular times for Aladdin. But this area is so beautiful, and you can just bring food back here and just enjoy the ambiance. Although a lot of people come to take pictures, so you might be in a lot of people's pictures. I know it doesn't look like a lot of people, but we're here early.
I had to wait also a number of times to get these empty shots. So it was there's a lot of cross traffic, as Denise said.
This was like I think this was a bizarre area, and we didn't really spend much time here because it always seemed busy.
Well, I was talking to my mother about this. She actually was watching the show, or somehow she saw that this had changed, and she would buy earrings and all kinds of leather goods and things like that. She used to love to shop there, and so I didn't even realize I never shopped there.
And I did. I bought a couple of boxes, like jewelry type boxes for Aunt Hia, my stepmother. So I liked it for occasional shopping, but I actually will spend much more time there now because I just love it the way it is now.
So it was a great day at Epcot, and now we're looking at Wild Florida Safari, which we had never been to, and we are going to start off with the giraffe feeding. We're starting off with the highlight because I loved this giraffe feeding.
So if you go to Wild Florida, which is about 45 minutes from Walt Disney World, we're looking at the giraffe feeding. You have to buy the safari pack, the safari,
Drive-Thru Safari,
to do the feeding, which costs $5 per person. I don't want to say per person, you buy like a few leaves
for a handful of leaves.
Yes. So we were invited out, but we paid extra. I mean, they gave us a couple of giraffe feedings, but then we bought a couple extras because it was so much fun.
Right. It was absolutely wonderful. This was a highlight of my week. We hadn't done anything like this ever in my whole life, except for at a place in Belgium called Paradisa, which was a whole park like this, and you could feed elephants there. I mean, it was an amazing place. So we're going to start off. This is what you can do. You feed these giraffes up close and personal. Unlike Paradisa, though, you're not allowed to touch them as you feed them.
Paradise, I got jumped on by a lemur.
Right in your camera bag. Yes. You could have taken him home.
And so, this was a surprise. I don't want to say it's a surprise hit for me. We didn't spend too much time feeding giraffes. At Belgium, but we did a little more here. And so you just walk up here. They do.
Look at those tongues.
They make sure you have masks. They make sure you have distance. They only allow a certain number of people up on the platform. And we lucked into a time frame when there was almost nobody up here. And so we got a lot of giraffe time, which was really nice.
Well, it's fun because you kept saying, "Do you want to get some more leaves?" And before you even finished saying leaves, I'm like, "Yes."
I took $10 out, and I'm like, "Give me more." No, I didn't say it like that.
And we went through more leaves, and then let's just do one more batch of leaves because it was so much fun, and the giraffes seemed to enjoy, getting their food here.
Yeah, they were really friendly, and at first I shoveled in like 3 pieces, and I didn't think about because you get like 3 or 4 pieces.
I think
for
it was
$5.
4. So each time we bought it, we each got to feed them twice.
But the first time I gave them all of it at once, and it's not as much fun like that because it lasts only a few seconds. So you have to just kind of do the one at a time.
Right. Well, I think most people can figure that out.
But I didn't. So.
But it was fun to watch you how happy you were feeding them, So even though we had to get more, it was worth it.
Yeah, they're beautiful giraffes, and we did the Drive-Thru Safari Park, and I didn't really know what to expect. We've done Drive-Thru Safaris before. You have done Great Adventure, right? In New Jersey.
In New Jersey, right? Six Flags.
I don't know if they still have that.
I think it's still open. I think I looked it up.
I grew up with that. Was one of the places I grew up going to.
Well, some of these safari parks had dangerous animals like lions and things, and this is not the case. Although you still can't get out of the car, you're allowed to roll down your window for pictures. That is fully allowed and encouraged. It was fun though. It's like being at Disney's Animal Kingdom in a way when you're at a safari and then an animal crosses. Everybody has to wait, and we got to have that that experience, and it was very, very interesting to actually be in control of the vehicle and have to let the animals guide your trip.
And then we can see the Ankole cattle here, and it's funny because of Disney's Animal Kingdom, you'll be like, "There's the Ankole cattle, there's the Tommies,"
right,
you know.
Right.
And so there's a camel also. So there are some animals here who, you don't see at Animal Kingdom. And also, it was a very warm day, so the animals weren't so active on this day. It wasn't like they were moving about too much.
Well, a lot of them were trying to eat like these wildebeests, a lot of and the Tommies were all looking for food.
And it's nice they have a ton of room to roam, and they all seem to stick together as far as their groups. You have the Tommies are out there together, you have the wildebeests out here together.
I'm really impressed though just by how good the safari looks. I mean, what a great job they've done. Here's some bison there in the water.
I like the bison. I've never seen them in the wild or something.
We've seen them at the Buffalo Bill Wild West show at Disneyland Paris, which is now closed forever, sadly.
We saw that twice in one visit.
I'm so glad now.
Like
we did
a year
that.
or two back, yeah. So with Lewis. So I just want to mention there's over 100 animals roaming over 85 acres, and the Gator Park is also included. It's not just the drive-through safari that you get. We were only in there for about a half hour, so we're not even going to talk about it, at all. But they have a lot of different animals, not just gators in the Gator Park, and they also have airboat rides here. So it was a fairly busy day when we went. I'm surprised considering it's a little bit, it's a little bit further from the other parks and such.
It's a nice ride though.
It was
Very pleasant ride out there.
Mm-hmm. So definitely recommend it. But again, we haven't seen the Gator Park. We haven't done the airboat rides.
We definitely need to go back, do the airboat, do the other park fully. I mean, we took a walk through, but as you said, I'd like to see all the exhibits and the animals in there.
I know you can have a full day out there. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it's definitely an option if you're heading to Central Florida.
And now we're going to talk about one of my favorite food events of the whole year, the Swan and Dolphin Classic, although this was more of a taste of the classic, I guess.
Right. So the Swan and Dolphin every fall normally has the Food and Wine Classic. And it's supposed to come back in 2021 on October 29th and 30th. We were invited to try a taste of the Swan and Dolphin, and this was a number of weeks ago now. They're only doing a very small amount of these, and we've mentioned we don't dine inside except for a few times in convention centers.
Well, you can see we are far off in the corner here, so I felt we found a pretty safe place.
We kept moving the table, farther and farther into the corner to make sure that we were really far away from everybody. They had they had entertainment. This was very similar, except indoors, to what we've experienced at the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic, although we've even done one of those indoors on inclement weather.
And before I get too far, I have to say that band was great, by the way. I thoroughly enjoyed listening to them.
The Swan and Dolphin doesn't do anything halfway. The Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic is my personal, we've been doing it for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
My favorite food and wine type of event on Walt Disney World property that we've been to. And so, they have their own restaurants. So like Shula's is here. Todd English's Blue Zoo is here. Il Molino is here.
Well, speaking of Shula's, that's where we're going to start off. And you can see this is one of our favorite places. Look at that nice beef there.
The Shula's is almost always my very favorite. I think this was the first time that I like something a little better than Shula's. But Shula's always has fantastic food here. So they called this a surf and turf, and it had like an Angus prime strip loin and a marinated shrimp with cream spinach. And I had a bunch of these.
Yeah, I was going to say I had a number of these. This looked like seeing an old friend again. And you could see I had a beer over there. You had a nice selection of craft beers there. And you could see there is that giant shrimp that goes along with surf and turf.
And I believe it was about 50 different wines and beers that they had.
We did not try them all.
We did not try them all. When you go to the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic, I mean, they have more than that, more than 50. That's something that they have a lot of is when you're paying your ticket, you get a lot of choices of wines and beers.
And you're looking at a mac and cheese sandwich, which I don't know if I've ever had something like that before. I've had a toasted cheese sandwich, but that was quite good.
And that was from Carnival Corner, which is not one of their. It's something that they have for the food, Food and Wine Classic.
Oh, here we go.
Il Molino. Oh my gosh, I have never been there except we went there for a wedding brunch once.
This was a highlight.
And now, as soon as we're fully vaccinated and stuff, maybe in a few months or so, we will go there. I mean, the pasta was like melt in your mouth pasta. And we watched that Stanley Tucci show on CNN,
Oh, yes.
and they had this particular dish, bucatini something.
Well, by the way,
I
we
can't
just
say
saw
it.
fish sticks and we saw chicken, but really the pasta, once we had the pasta, we kept going back for that. It was so good.
The pasta just melted. And so Kimonos had an excellent chicken. A lot of these items are not necessarily on their menu. Of course, you can get the pasta at Il Molino. That's what they have.
Right.
But it isn't necessarily always that one on the menu.
And you're looking at a barbecue brisket sandwich, and you have a variety of barbecue sauces back there, and that was a very nice sandwich as well.
Right. And so they have restaurants like Cabana. Now, the smoked Angus beef brisket plate, I don't think that's from one of their particular. I think it's more of a Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic booth. Oh, and yes, desserts. So the desserts here, they had a strawberry sundae station. Laurent Brenlard, I think that's how you say it, close. He is the chef here, and he's been here forever. And he's always very nice, and he's very talented. And they always have the most incredible desserts at these events,
beautiful
too.
presentation and really tasty desserts. I enjoyed that. It was great.
I had, you know what?
I can't wait to do the outside version again, though. There's something about being out on the causeway.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and also now there's something to be said about being outside.
And we've had our vaccines. We're going to have our second shots tomorrow and the day.
Today
for you, tomorrow for me.
For me, in like 2 hours, I'm going to have my second Moderna vaccine. So I'm really excited to be able to do a little bit more. We've only done, again, we haven't really dined in restaurants at all, but we've done a few convention center events because, it's so spread out. And I just want to say, I don't know of anybody that does food events in the area better, not that we have experienced, than the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin. Anytime that let's say we tell a friend about and they buy tickets for the event.
Oh, they always thank us.
Well, and then they buy them the next year and the next year because
Right.
they enjoy them so much. Our friends Pam and Brian, they'll do the
Yeah,
classes.
you see them all the time at these events.
Yeah, so I just can't recommend it more. So hopefully things will be a little more back to normal at the end of October. We really recommend the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic if you happen to be here toward that Halloween time frame.
And believe it or not, that is another show.
I believe it. And so thank you to our sponsor, MEI and Mouse Fan Travel. If you happen to, I think a lot of people are ready to start heading here at some point. So check out
I'm
check
ready
out their
to start
website.
heading to California, at
I
least.
would love to get to California as soon as things open up, for us as well. Because if you want to go to Disneyland, you can't yet because it's closed.
But even when it opens, it's only for California residents, which we are not. But when they allow anybody to go, I think we'll be booking our trip.
I will be very ready to head back to California. I was looking at anyway. Definitely check out MEI and Mouse Fan Travel, and I just want to because I was looking at pictures yesterday, and I was like, when was this trip that we went to California? And it was just over a year ago.
December of 2019, we were there together.
And I did go in March of 2020, but gosh, the December 2019, it's really hard to think of that as just over a year ago.
That's like 10 years ago.
It feels like a really long time ago now. Yeah, I'm looking at the pictures, it's like, oh my gosh, that was... I can't even think of that as fairly current.
So let's talk about what we have coming up. The next couple of days, we're going to kind of lay low because we're both getting our second vaccine shot. So I'm very excited about that.
I know. It's like Aldi German week and vaccine week, so it's...
I have my Germany hat in celebration of this.
It's a double header. So, and we've been busy on property. I'm working on an all-star movies, photo walk for the site. We're going to
What a
finish
great
that
time
up.
we had at the All-Star Movies.
It
Nice
was-
to be back there yesterday.
We had a really good dinner there. The turkey was so
Excellent.
good.
Excellent.
And at the food court, a turkey dinner, you
Who
wouldn't
would
think.
have thought?
Well, I love turkey, but I thought they did a very nice job with it.
I would get that again.
Yes, and so we will be heading back there just to finish it, and you're going to get a little more video also, so we'll talk about that. And
We'll definitely show some of that next week, though, our tour of the reopened All-Star Movies. And also, we were at Epcot last night, where we're going to try to get over, if we can, get over to the Magic Kingdom. And we have seen that there are some princesses that have rejoined the fold over there, including a Moana and Mulan. So it'd be nice to see them after such a long time. Well, there could be others that we don't know about
I
yet.
don't know.
That's why I'm saying.
so, there's a number of changes. The Cinderella Castle's looking a little different already with some added items on it. And we also want to head over to Universal Studios and have
Definitely. I can't wait.
I have been wanting to head over, but it's been very busy lately.
And luckily, they have extended the Mardi Gras, so I plan for us to get the Mardi Gras sampler.
That will be very nice, the tasting sampler. We're going to have a whole big show at some point on Universal in the coming weeks.
So thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.